So 8 things you must know before you purchase or buy a Airbnb property. Now guys, welcome to another Grow Your BNB videos. Now I've done a lot of content around, explaining about why is it so different, why is it so important to understand the purchase side of a property to turn it into an Airbnb or short-term rental business. So look, if you're watching from a different part of the world, firstly I'd love to welcome you to Grow Your BNB video. I'd love you to comment down below actually where you're from, and yeah, let's start this video. And I want to make sure I cover the best points. Now, 2 things I want to cover before we start this video. So if you don't know me, I have actually worked with over 750 individual properties. Now there are some purchase to short-term rental or purchase. I've got clients who've bought properties to turn them into Airbnb, and plus I've got clients who do on a rent-to-rent strategy, or in US they call it Airbnb arbitrage. Now secondly, the reason why I say that is I want to make sure that I've got clients from Grow Your BNB where they've got units, they bought units basically, didn't do enough due diligence and actually put it on Airbnb and didn't get as much booking. Now, if you're one of them, you're going to be in problem. I'm telling you today, the cash flow is going to be a problem. And how do you go about actually making sure that you are filling your property? And actually, one of the best things we do in Grow Your BNB is actually get clients longer term bookings. So guys, let's start this 8 points and explain you exactly what are the things you need to consider before buying your first Airbnb property. So listen, this is going to be like an overview anyway, but it will really make sense on exactly what I want to talk about. So the first thing I want to talk about is actually doing a background check on the investment property. Now it could be the neighborhood, it could be the type of guests you're going to get in that neighborhood, it could be the type of companies there is located in that neighborhood. But when you're looking at properties, you need to make sure you do enough background check of the property itself, but also the investment area. So point number 2 is calculate your expenses and profit. Now, if you haven't watched one of my videos, I've actually done on how to qualify a deal and how to do your due diligence and also how to do your numbers. So please make sure you understand what your expenses are, which is your fixed expenses on that property. But also in a short-term rental, you also have a variable expenses, which is like your housekeeping team. Now, I prefer to call housekeeping team, but there's people out there who call them cleaners, right? So different cleaners, different times, different cost. So make sure you understand your numbers very well. Well, actually, I do want to share something. So a client of mine actually in Birmingham in UK invested in a property and actually the same problem, started getting small like weekend bookings, and eventually the problem was that they just don't know their number. Now when I first onboard my clients, the first thing I ask them is what is their break-even number. Now if you don't know your break-even number, I'll stop this video and actually go back and write down the numbers exactly on what you need to break even on that specific property. So guys, again, very important that you know your numbers. So one of my favorite thing is, and also the third thing I want to cover is invest on low cost properties. What that means is you don't have to go and buy the modern city apartments. It doesn't have to be in New York, you don't have to be in Sydney, Bondi Beach, or you don't have to be in London, right? You can buy it in different places around the world, in different little tiny cities, in a valuable place, in the right price, to be able to attract you better cash flow, And I've got clients who have bought properties, actually turned them and renovated them into a very great standard, purchased a very low, renovated it to great standard, furnished it, and eventually made a lot more cash flow than properties I know from city centres like London, Bondi Beach, or even New York. So make sure you understand the type of property you want to attract to your investment portfolio. So number 4 is review your investment loan plan. Obviously this video is all about purchasing a property into Airbnb, and a lot of people, what they do is obviously they're used to purchasing property in a normal buy-to-let to a family, or the standard ASD, what we call in the UK. But eventually when you're doing a short-term rental, there's a different type of mortgage products you actually get in the UK. Now if you're lending money to buy that property, make sure you understand that you're getting the right product to be able to run it as an Airbnb property, right? Some of the lenders will not allow you to do it without getting the consent. So guys, that's again very important from a legal side of purchase of your short-term rental business or short-term rental property. So number 5, choose people carefully. Now, one of the things in this business is all about good power team, right? So if you're purchasing a short-term rental property, you need to understand your solicitors. You need to also understand your lenders. You need to understand whoever consultant you choose to work with in your short-term rental business. Now, guys, there's people out there I know who have purchased, and this happens all over the world, purchase short-term rental property, don't know how to run them, pass it over to management company hoping they get the results, and eventually the management company don't deliver. Now what you've done is you've chosen yourself the wrong power team. So it's very important to the detail of choosing the right management company, choosing the right housekeeping team, because your housekeeping team, if they don't clean the property right, it could make or break your business, because your guests are looking for great standards. So make sure you're choosing the right people. Number 6, be ready with the down payment. Now I've got people watching my videos who are experienced property investors or people who can buy properties as buy-to-lets or investments. I also have a percentage of people who are new to property investments. So I'd love you to understand that this is for everyone, first of all, and secondly, when you're saying down payments, you need to understand there's a buy-to-let investment or deposit that you need to create to buy this property. Now in the UK, it could be anywhere up to 25 to 30% of deposit of the property value. So if you're buying a property worth 100,000, you need at least 30,000 just for the deposit, and then obviously you've got the legals and stuff. So please be aware that you know your number of the investment you're going to put into that property. Number 7, choosing a JV partner. Now I want to make sure I work with loads of people in the country right now in the UK as people who have got JVs together purchasing property. Now I'll always expect this, that you purchase the property through a company so that you both have equal shares if that's what you've invested in the business. But it's important that you completely understand that if you're looking to scale the business, you will have a joint venture partner to be able to understand what the roles are, obviously in the business, and secondly, because it's a short-term rental business, you just need to understand who's going to run the business too. And secondly, as you know, short-term rental is a business, and you just need to understand who in the partnership is actually going to run the business itself. So number 8, right? So control your emotions. As it's property investing strategy, you cannot be thinking about how pretty the property looks or how awful the property looks. It is going back into being practical and logical to understand that, does the number works? Is your guest or your potential guests, be contractors, be business travelers, or people relocating from different part of the world, they might want to stay in that property as long as you make your property homely. And that is all about short-term rental and Airbnb business. If you get that right, you will make sure your property are filled and eventually make the profit that you want. Well, as you know, it takes time to understand a real estate business or property investing business. You can't just watch this video and expect absolutely to learn everything, but hopefully this video has allowed you to understand, the types of customers I've been working with, from people who own houses in Cardiff in little villages to people who have got central location apartment in London, Chelsea. I've worked with Shoreditch, actually different places around the UK. Also clients who own and also do a rent-to-rent arbitrage in Sydney on Bondi Beach. It goes back to knowing their numbers. Eventually, everyone who's done well have understood exactly how the numbers work, and hopefully this video has been able to understand or give you an understanding of the whole purchase to short-term rental or purchase to Airbnb property. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, my name is Piers from GrowYourBnb.com. We'll be back with another video soon, and please make sure you share, like and subscribe to this channel.